Okay, guys, welcome back to episode 8B or part 2 of episode 8. So, like I said last week, the video was too long, so I needed to split it into two, which is fine. Golden nuggets have to be enjoyed in bits and pieces. So, this is going to be part 2 of my interview with Tinashe. He is a caravan pilot as well as a flight operations manager at Wilderness Air in Botswana. And in the first part, he gave us a little bit of an insight into the initial interview as well as initial operating experience that he had in Zimbabwe. And then now, this part two, he's going to give us a little bit of his opinion or his insights into what he thinks the direction of the aviation industry is going to go here in the Southern African region. So enjoy part two. It's interesting because we're at Westline, the we're told to actually come at 6,000 feet, which is 1,500 feet, which is 1,500 feet above the aerodrome elevation.
Yeah.
So also, but of course,
but the reason for that was because if you did it in New Tempe, if you did 2,000, you'll be in Brown Fisher's
yes,
airspace.
Exactly.
So that was the main reason for that one. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So it kind of paid off for you actually to train at New Tempe for that. All right. So yeah, now just going back to the state of affairs now. COVID-19 has impacted the aviation industry in various ways around the world. Looking regionally, I think in Southern Africa. Well, if we look at South Africa, Namibia, actually, if we look at the airlines, the state operators haven't done so well. SAA is in a bit of a they say it's out of business rescue, and now they're putting themselves back together, but we'll see. Who else has gone under? Oh, SA Express has gone.
And Namibia closed.
And Namibia closed as well. Mango Airlines is going into business rescue. Zimbabwe, I'm not sure. So perhaps you can give us a little bit of light of what's happened in Zimbabwe, what's happened with Botswana, and your operations, as I understand it, heavily rely on customers coming from North America, perhaps Europe as well. How did the industry feel in 2020, and how does it feel now in 2021?
When the onset of, I always say it still feels very surreal. On the onset of COVID, I think we started hearing about it maybe more consistently around January, February. And last year, 2020, And that's when I had moved to Botswana in beginning of February. And, still settling down, still sorting out a couple of things. And as that issue came up, we thought, we've heard about SARS flus and whatnot. Whatever. It's something that will just, fizzle out there, and it will happen in China, and that's fine. It's sorted. It's not the first time.
Usually the case, yes.
Yeah. So it actually became quite serious in March on this side of the world when countries started going into a lockdown. And all the guests started, or all naturally all wanted to leave because their countries were closing down. So they didn't want to be closed out while their countries, because now you don't know what, of course your country was not going to say you can come in, but you don't know what quarantine conditions are going to be, or what's going to happen. It's something new. No one knew what was going to happen. So a lot of, literally within the space of a week, everything came to a grounding halt.
So
on the 4th of April, we went into lockdown here in Botswana. Full lockdown. Everyone in their homes except essential services. Quiet time, quite a tricky time because you're new in a country. you're basically alone in an apartment and you can't do anything. So it became a bit of a tricky one, but we pulled through. How it has impacted on the flying side, literally our planes just parked. That was just it. There's no other way I can describe it, because without clients, there's no point to fly. There's nothing you can do. So all we were doing now was just running aircrafts every week, once a week, to make sure that they remain, oil and all that, and for maintenance purposes. Because if an aircraft is parked for too long, you could have some issues.
Sure.
So that was basically our life, the greater part of April, May, June, July. Around August, still the same, one or two movements here and there. But then, as the lockdown started easing up and whatnot, September started getting bookings for November, December. Then unfortunately, the second wave hit. End of December into January, and then things really went under again, and a lot of cancellations started coming. But now as we go, people are starting to book and people are starting to come. There's generally been an upward trajectory in the number of guests or tourists that have been traveling. So slowly you start reintroducing one aircraft, two aircrafts, three aircrafts, and then you pick it up from there.
So are these mostly people from regionally, or these people from abroad? I mean, now that the US has started with the vaccine program. Yeah.
I must give respect and kudos to the locals and the regionals.
Okay.
Because they kept the company going. They came on holiday, which was really good. That's after lockdowns and everything. They came through, and South Africa, Botswana, it's a lot of Botswana came through and came on holiday. So at that time, it's good to keep the engine oiled, and you'll find that it will make sense. So they came through, and we still have quite a lot of them. But now, as international lockdowns and restrictions started kind of getting eased up, then you started seeing the Americans because a lot of people postponed their holidays.
I
didn't
see.
cancel.
Right.
So a lot of people
optimistic.
They were optimistic,
which is good.
So people started re-engaging their agents and saying, "Look, I'm ready to travel. What's going on that side?" And of course, the company, as we stand right now, is open. So they are coming. Yeah.
Okay. So good signs are happening at this point in time.
So which means also the ripple effect is now we get to fly more. So the operation starts working. Yeah.
All right. Lovely. That's good to hear. I'm actually very happy to hear that. I think from what I've been hearing, South Africa's particular stories, because of the whole South African variant, South Africa still has a lot of countries prohibiting flying into it.
Into South Africa.
So that story is a little bit different. So I'm just glad to hear that with Botswana, things are picking up.
It does affect Botswana a lot. But what I've also noticed is certain international people, if they want to do something, they'll find another way.
Yeah.
So until those bans are lifted, it's very difficult as well. It makes the travel long and tedious, if I can put it that way. Because someone now has to go to Ethiopia, for example, to come down to Zimbabwe and then cross into Botswana. That kind of thing. When they were used to the normal route of I fly into SA, I get an airlink and I come to Botswana. Done.
Yeah. Straight
to Maui. So it's opening up certain things and closing certain things. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No. I think that's pretty much it. Do you? I think on the last note, for those who are interested in getting into aviation, or just starting out, Where do you foresee the aviation industry going in Southern Africa, SADC, let's put it that way, in the next coming years?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
in the next coming years.
The way I see flying or aviation in Southern Africa is we are kind of going through a phase where, as we spoke earlier, basically the government-owned entities are not doing well.
Yeah.
But in their place comes in private-owned entities, which run it more like a business. Government-owned entities, it's a public sector issue. So it seems as if the industry is shrinking, but over a period of time, it actually grows. I'll give an example of what I actually know. For example, look at Zimbabwe. When I started, Zimbabwe only had Air Zimbabwe. We were heavily reliant on Air Zimbabwe. But it shut down its doors, it's having its troubles, it's resuscitated, but there was the birth of Fly Africa. It also had a mock charge start, but rumor has it's back on, it should be back in the air very soon.
Okay.
We've also got an airline which is doing pretty okay called FastJet.
Yes.
They've been basically, you see what I mean? So in 2011, we had one airline. In fact, we didn't have an airline. But now locally, there's potential of 3 airlines. So Air Zimbabwe, FastJet, Fly Africa. So you see that it's actually growth. It gives an opportunity for private players to put in money. When I started, we only had Wilderness in the general aviation. We only had Wilderness, Executive Air, and CATS. But now, there was expansion of guys like I hosted Aviation Corporation, and things are just happening. People are getting more interested in aviation, and with the onset of cargo, for example, during COVID, that was big money. Aviation, cargo, airline, cargo aviation guys made a lot of money simply because things had to travel. So there's a lot that's happening flying wise. And also the increase in flying schools, which means instructors are needed and. So I truly believe Southern Africa, looking at how state-owned, monopolized airlines are slowly dying and private-owned are coming in, you will find that it will not be based simply on business, and it will grow.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
You see now, so it's like one of those things where you see that, for example, if there's a national carrier like here in Botswana, you know that there are certain routes that you can't fly. If you're coming in, but you can't do, for example, I can't start an airline to do Maun.
Right.
Gaborone Maun.
Right. It's restricted to them to do so.
It's restricted to the local carrier. Why? Because of course it's protecting themselves. They make the money. But what then happens is you find that over time they may have financial issues or whatever, and then they they can't do it, and maybe they close. But then what does it do? It leaves open for Hotsu to come in with his airline and say, look, I can fly this route. I've got this equipment and what. They're like, yeah, we're welcome. But what do you do? The difference within us and local and the difference between private and national is that private is looking for money. And the reason why they're in business for money. They're not in business to carry a flag or a national carrier. No, it's money. So they will do everything to make sure that it survives and makes money. So you find that code sharing comes into play. Partnerships come into play. All those things come into play because all they're basically saying is, how do I get clients? Oh, no, you know what happens is we've got guys who come to the States who want to go to Victoria Falls, but they land in Harare because Victoria Falls doesn't accommodate. No problem. I'll code share with that company. This person just buys a ticket straight from the States and ends up in Victoria Falls. They don't care what color, name, or shape of the aircraft they're jumping into. As long as it's safe and it gets there within the time stipulated, it's done. So as more private players come in, it's going to help. Another thing is, with the introduction of technology, with the introduction of new ideas, especially of the younger generation, billionaires are being born, millionaires are being born on a daily basis. If you look at places like Nigeria, if you look at South Africa,
Nigeria,
entrepreneurs are
definitely.
making money.
Nigeria, definitely.
Entrepreneurs are making money.
Yeah.
That is the birth of basically corporate flight.
Yeah.
Private jets.
It is.
All those things.
Yeah.
You look at the invention of aircrafts like the PC-24.
Oh yeah, beautiful plane.
Beautiful plane. Can go to a dirt strip, but it's a jet. Those are things that will show you that the aviation industry is growing, and Southern Africa is not excluded from that growth. It's going to be part of it, and that's how it goes. So gone are the days where you'd hire a business jet from ExecuJet, for example. It's based on the availability, but maybe you are a business person who needs to travel as and when they can without delay. What then happens is you'll find it's better that you actually own your own aircraft, crew it, and you're done. It's still a foreign idea to most of Southern Africa, but as youngsters grow, they are introducing these things. So, you know what, guys? You are always between Harare and Johannesburg, but you have to rely on Faster. You have to rely on Air Zimbabwe. You have to rely on Fly Africa. But sometimes it's not convenient for when you want to travel. You want to leave at midnight. Or Tambo doesn't close. Lanseria doesn't close. But because Fastnet is gone already, you have no choice. But if you've got your own crew and your own aircraft, it's just a matter of filing a flight plan, refueling, and you're out. You catch your meeting tomorrow. That's how it is.
Thank you guys for sticking through the whole video. I truly appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments below of Tinashe's interview. If you have any questions, ask away in the comments below. I'm going to end this video with us landing back at Victoria Falls. This video was taken 6 years ago, so the airport has actually changed quite a lot since then. They've actually built a new runway next to it. And remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because I've got 2 more episodes coming out. Episode 9, which will be a flight in the UK, and episode 10, which will be a flight in Thailand. Remember to like and subscribe. Remember, this episode is part of a 10-part series. We're now on episode 8. 2 more episodes left. Episode 9 will see us flying in the UK, and episode 10 will be a flight in Thailand. Thank you very much for those of you who've been sticking through this entire series. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. And I hope you've got some valuable insights and valuable information, or just some entertainment for these past 8 weeks that we've been publishing out these videos. So thank you very much to all of you, and to the new viewers, welcome, and I hope you enjoy this series. Thanks once again. Have a good day.